Hi everyone, I'm Chris.
And this is Milton, the Sports Truth.
The truth will set you free.
Today we will be talking about the draft. It's a week away. We will be talking about some of the hot topics in the NFL and some of my favorite sports movies. So, 10 years from now, I'm wondering who we will be talking about from the 2020 NFL draft. Chris, is there anybody that comes to mind with some of.
Probably Trevor Lawrence because he's been so hyped, and I don't see him as another Ryan Leaf. Honestly, I think he's actually pretty solid. He kind of reminds me of Andrew Luck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got a gun for an arm. He's got this escapability factor. Played for a really good college in Clemson. So yeah, he had a 34-2 record. He's the dual threat quarterback, and I think he's going to Jacksonville. And even though Urban Meyer is a rookie coach, he knows how to maximize his talents. He's had a very successful career, as I mentioned before, in college football, from winning 3 titles at 2 different schools with the Florida Gators and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah, I agree with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's supposed to be the best prospect since John Elway, so you have to go all the way back to, I believe it's 1983.
Yeah,
Some other players that I'm thinking about also is Kyle Pitts. As I've mentioned before, I'm a big Gators fan, so I've seen just about every Gators football game in the last 25, 30 years.
wow.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts is a tight end, but he's a tight end who plays like a wide receiver. Great hands, great adjustment on the fly. So depending on who his quarterback is, if he falls in the right spot, Kyle Pitts will be. I'm trying to think of who to compare him to because I don't think there really is anybody in the NFL right now who's like him. Could you think of somebody?
Well, he's a combination
Uh-huh.
of, in my opinion,
Yeah.
Gronkowski
Okay.
with the catchability of Antonio Gates.
Okay. I like that. That sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty overpowered.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, Devontae Smith. If you watch the college football championship, I think the game was over by halftime before he got
Yeah.
injured. I think smaller, slender wide receivers could do pretty well in the NFL. You could put him at the slot. You could put him in the backfield. So because there's some issues concerning that he's too small and slender and maybe not a right fit for the NFL. But I'm not sure if you remember, but he sort of reminds me of a Percy Harvin who played for the Florida Gators and had a little bit of an NFL career. And also Trey Lance, dual threat quarterback. Didn't turn the ball over much. He's got a gun for an arm, and when he has to, his running abilities are second to none. I really hope he comes to the Niners. So far, what I've been hearing is that Justin Fields was possibly going to be the person, but now the talk is Trey Lance, even though it's been Mac Jones. But I digress. Don't want to go on a 49er tangent or we'll be here all day. And then last but not least is Travis Etienne. He played for Clemson. Anytime you have drafting a running back, I think you want one that's a dual threat. The day of the running back who gets 3 yards in the clouds of dust is sort of over. You need to be able to obviously run the ball, but be able to catch out of the backfield. And a third one, which a lot of running backs have issues with, is blocking. Because if you're not blocking, then that edge rusher or that blitz, who knows where it's coming from. You risk your quarterback being injured, and that's a big one. Those 3 things. So I think those are the players years from now that will be like, oh my God, I can't believe my team didn't draft him. And that's what I'm telling the Niners. Please draft Trey Lance and not Mac Jones. But we'll move on. My question to you, Chris, is if you could take one Super Bowl team How many have there been? Like 53, 55? What's the last
Yeah.
one?
I
54?
think it's 54.
54, yeah. So out of the last 54, of which I've seen, I want to say about 40 of them, would you choose to be your top team that would beat any other Super Bowl team?
Oh, beat any other Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
Ooh, for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna be either the 1985 Bears
Okay.
or the 2020 Bucks, because you saying beat any Super Bowl team, so they have to go against the Ravens from 2000. They'd have to go against 2013 Seahawks. You have to beat that. The Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty tall order. And the greatest show on turf, I guess. To do. Oh,
Yeah,
man,
that's a good
there's
one
a lot
too.
of ones you have
Yeah.
to deal with.
Yeah. There's some good ones out there. So you would overall you would choose the 2020 Bucks?
Yeah. They got it all.
They do. I mean,
Literally.
best quarterback of all time, best front seven
On the defense, yep.
on the defense,
Offensive
an amazing
weapons.
coach, offensive
Yeah.
weapons. At the end, they put some sort of a running back by committee between Ronald Jones Jr. and Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Former first rounder,
that's a
which is
good
funny.
one. I'm a little bit of a homer, so I'm gonna say the 1989 49ers. They're at their peak at this point. You have Montana, who was the former GOAT. You got Jerry Rice, the best receiver of all time. On the other side, John Taylor, probably one of the best receivers that no one really talks about, because when you're playing with Rice, it's easy to be forgotten. Their great offensive line, Guy McIntyre, Bubba Paris, Steve Wallace, all names from the yesteryear. And then in the backfield, you probably have one of the best backfields ever, because you have Roger Craig, who should be in the Hall of Fame. Being able to, his high stepping, high kneeing, whatever you want to call it, being able to catch out of the backfield. He was the first running back to have 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing, but somehow the Hall of Fame committee has missed out on that. But we'll talk about that another time. And then Tom Rathman, probably one of the best fullbacks. He could block. He was the lead block for Roger Craig. He picked up any blitzes that came at Montana, and he was an amazing receiver out of the backfield. And then you also have Brent Jones, too. The 49ers had Brent Jones and John Clark, bunch of tight ends. And then on defense, the defense is probably just as good as the offense. You have Ronnie Lott, probably one of the best defensive players, leaders that I've ever seen, and Charles Haley, who ended up winning, I think, a total of 5 Super Bowls, and the rest of their defense was loaded as well. So it would be interesting to see a 1989 Joe Montana 49ers, if we could somehow figure out time travel, bring them here. That would be a great pay-per-view. You can't give that thing for free, or either that or charge astronomical prices for the
What, time travel
no,
expenses?
yeah, that
Yes.
no for the commercials, for the commercials.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, so that's it would be an amazing Super Bowl.
It would.
I don't know who would win. Probably the 49ers, but we'll see.
Yeah.
In our imaginations.
Yes.
All
please.
right. Are you ready for 5 random questions?
Oh, I know the viewers are.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy.
That seemed to be pretty popular last time. Okay. This is sort of a 2-part question.
Uh-oh.
How much should you tip?
How much should I tip?
For
For what, though?
well, that's a good question. Going to the restaurant or getting a haircut, or I'm trying to think of some of the other things that you tip for. Yeah, I'm just looking for how much you should tip percentage-wise.
20%.
20%. And is there ever a time that you shouldn't tip?
Only when they have bad service.
Okay, see, I've talked to my friends about this. And so does that mean that you're going to stiff them and not give them anything? Or are you going to go from 20 down to 10 or 15? Which is what I usually do when service is bad. I don't like the person. Everything was a complete mess, because that is their money and salary that I'm messing with. So what's your retort on that?
10%.
10%? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever go over 20% because they did such an amazing job? They brought you multiple sodas and they were just great at what they do.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah?
I once gave a 80% tip.
What, 80% tip, really?
Yeah, it was good. It was
Wow.
for a haircut too.
Dang, that must have been some haircut.
It
Wow.
was. She was all by herself, and she had to man the haircut store by herself all day.
Okay.
So I felt bad, and I gave her a bigger tip.
You gave her a bigger tip?
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, I was surprised by it. I thought you were going to say like 30% or, but 80%. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, next question. What's your favorite cereal?
My favorite cereal?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a tough one.
it is. There's so many good ones out there.
My favorite cereal, it would have to be the Reese's Cocoa Puffs.
Okay,
That particular.
that one's
flavor.
pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. For me, it was Frosted Flakes as a kid until Cinnamon Toast Crunch came along, and probably a shout out to Captain Crunch Berry. Love that
Oh
one.
my gosh.
I know, all sugary.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good for you. Yeah.
Good for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, but hey. What historical, I know you're a big history buff, what historical figure would you want to have dinner with?
Oh man, you opened up a can of worms you wish you had not opened. I would definitely want to have dinner with George Washington.
George Washington? Okay.
Yeah. He's not perfect, but
Uh-huh.
even though he lost a few battles, he still came back. He still persevered. He showed true, grit and determination, and I really want to talk to someone like that.
Okay.
Pretty interesting.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say Hitler, but
Wow, you just got us demonetized. Real good. Good job. Not to
No,
censor that out.
just kidding. Yeah, no, George Washington would be a good one. For me, it'd probably be Lincoln. Everything that he had to deal with.
My second choice.
Yeah, for sure. Either one of those.
Yeah.
Next question. You have these three choices. You could be a famous actor. You could be an all-star athlete in football, basketball, whatever sport you want, or a rock star or singer, essentially. And why?
I'd be a rock star.
You'd be a rock star.
Yeah, because especially if it's a metal band, because metal is all about expressing your emotions.
Uh-huh.
I would like to express my emotions like that, and also touring with all of your friends and your band would be pretty fun. On the
It
band
would be a
bus.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would think almost like too much fun, and then that's when you get into the trappings of the fast life. And,
Oh no, I wouldn't do drugs or anything.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
I know you wouldn't.
No,
So
I'd say no thanks.
Yeah, I would do famous actor, just because of the longevity of it.
Enjoy the paparazzi.
Yeah. I would eat into it.
Oh, of
because-
course you would.
Yeah, so because I like all the attention.
Oh jeez.
With the athlete, there's concussions.
Exactly.
You're damaging your body. You're damaging your brain. So it's a short-lived prosperity. And with the rock star, the trappings, it would be too much. So I would go, and I'm sure Hollywood has its own
They have massive problems.
pitfalls. Yes,
Yes, they have a lot of problems.
They do. They do.
I'd say something, but I can't say it on mic. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. And the Oscars are this week. I don't know why, because I've seen maybe one movie on there. It was actually pretty good. It was called Promising Young Woman. What's the last great movie that you've seen?
The last great movie that I've seen. All right, nobody kill me, but the last great movie I ever seen was Jurassic Park, the original, from 1993. I'm sorry. Hollywood,
That's the last
you've been
movie
slipping.
you've seen?
You've been slipping.
Wow. Okay. For me, it's Promising Young Woman.
That just came out.
That's what the last great movie I saw. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the latest?
Oh, the latest, greatest movie
Yeah,
I've seen?
yeah. I'm not saying your
Objectively or subjectively?
subjectively.
Yeah, don't take too long thinking about that one, buddy.
Okay.
Subjectively?
Yes.
Does Disney Plus count? Like
Sure.
shows?
Sure. You're gonna say Mulan?
The episode of Mandalorian where a certain Jedi shows up.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet, but that's more of a show
Completely
and not a
spoiled it.
movie. So
Yeah, that's the last greatest thing I've seen.
okay.
I saw it yesterday.
Okay.
So
All right. Well,
that's what you said.
the question's right here. I said what's the latest? What's the last great movie that you saw? That's what that was the question.
Jurassic Park, Hollywood slipping. I'll repeat it again. Hollywood has gone to crap since the 90s.
All right. Time to move on from 5 questions. We got some hot topics to discuss. Is adding a 17th game to the NFL a good thing or bad thing?
Bad.
Why?
More wear and tear on the body.
Okay.
It's a longer season, which means more injuries, like I said. And do you really want a team who doesn't deserve to go to the playoffs to sneak in with an extra game if they win it somehow, by like a point or two? Do you really want that?
I have a hard time saying no to another football game. I think if they take it from 4 preseason games down to 2, they can squeeze another one in. And these matchups that they have, there's some pretty good matchups.
But you need preseason, though.
No, you do, and that's why I'm saying,
two games doesn't work. You need at least 3.
Okay, fine. You could have 3 then. And then
so like it's already hard enough with 4 trying to cut the people down to 53.
That's true.
So you're gonna put more pressure on the coach and the GM.
I think they should expand the practice squad then, so you can keep more people on your practice squad.
So like 20 or 30 more.
Yeah,
10 or 15?
Sure. Yeah. Have a small farm system of players.
Oh, you mean like MLB?
Yeah, like MLB.
You know how well that's gone for them? Not good at all.
Well, the farming system for the Padres is doing pretty well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, about that loss the other day. Yeah,
but they did have an exciting win yesterday. But I know sort of a little bit underwhelming on their part.
Forth,
but it's a long season. It's 162 games. That's why I don't watch baseball until the playoffs, where every pitch and every at bat.
We just lost
something.
all 2 of our MLB fans.
I know,
Good job.
I'm
They've
sorry,
already clicked
but
off.
You know what? When you get to the playoffs, I don't think there's a more exciting sport than baseball, because just every pitch, every hit, game 7
all matters. Yeah,
it all matters.
Yeah.
Are you okay with the overtime rules as they stand right now? And if not, how would you change them?
I would make it 1 quarter, 1 long quarter.
1 long quarter. Okay.
Yeah, so the 15 to be like 20 or 25.
Okay.
And I'd try to do like a college football thing where you score a touchdown, they score a touchdown, you keep going till someone finally fails.
So you start from the 25, like they do, and then okay.
Yeah, back and forth, because that's why college football is so exciting in the first place.
Right, but sometimes you have college football games that go on for another hour because they went into 6 overtimes.
So I said 1 long one, and if you can't get it done in 25 minutes, it's a draw.
It's a draw? The dreaded draw?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my reasoning on that one. I don't know what yours would be, but
well, I'll let you know what mine is. I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
What I would do is I would put it on the kickers. So I would bring each kicker out to the center of the field, and it would be
a soccer penalty kick. Yeah, make the lineman jump up and try to block the field goal. There you go, the offensive lineman.
Not that crazy. What I would do, there used to be a show back in the 70s. I think they brought it back for a remake, and it used to be called Name That Tune. And so the contestants would say, well, I could name that tune in 5 notes. And so they would go back and forth based on the clues. And so I would have each kicker say, how far could you kick it? Could you kick a 60-yard field goal, a 50, whatever it is? And whichever kicker thought they could kick it,
right,
then that's how you determine it.
Okay.
I mean, it's over, it's quick, you better and it would give more value to the kickers too. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, how upset would players be if your whole team is loaded and stacked, but your kicker is the worst one?
Well,
now you're just screwed over the whole team? No, they're not going to allow this. Well,
that's the thing, though, that you should value the kicker. That's why I respect someone like John Harbaugh, who has an amazing offense that he runs through Lamar Jackson. They need a wide receiver to make that thing click all the way, and a defense that's always in the top 10 every year. And their special teams are amazing. I think they got the best punter, and then Justin Tucker has like a 90% like lifetime. So get yourself a Justin Tucker. Put some more.
I think you need all of the teams to agree that's not going to happen.
Okay.
The ones with the bad kickers are going to say no, and it's going to be like 30 to 32, and it won't pass or something. Yeah. It would be fun to watch though. They should have like a shootout thing.
Right?
That would be pretty fun. But
I think
at the end of the day,
because they would get arrogant and cocky and say, "Well, I can kick a 65-yard field goal." Oh, really?
Okay.
All right,
yeah,
go ahead.
And you have to match each other like horse or whatever around the world. And if you miss, that's it. You lose.
Exactly, like a game of pig.
There you go.
Is Tom Brady closer to Michael Jordan or is he closer to Bill Russell?
Michael Jordan.
Do you know who Bill Russell is for the millennials out there?
Oh, God. He sounds familiar, but when you said Michael Jordan, seriously, the same breath, you could say Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, the same breath. Bill Russell?
For the millennials out there, Bill Russell played for the Celtics in the 60s.
Right.
And he won 11 titles.
Right.
So that's why I asked the question, is Tom Brady closer to Jordan, where Jordan dominated the sport, or is he closer to a Bill Russell that he has 7 Super Bowls and, according to both of us, will probably have an 8th Super Bowl after this year? So you're getting to the point, I don't know, maybe he's both, you know?
He's Tom Brady. He's just Tom Brady. You can't compare him to anyone. And I know this sounds like a fanboy, but I'm not fanboying. If we go back to, 1930s with the Bears or 1920s, since then to now, there's no one close to Brady except the Browns quarterback who won 9 of 10.
Otto.
Yeah, Otto Graham.
Otto Graham.
That's literally it. Only Otto Graham has more, air quote, more championships.
Okay.
So there's never been another Brady. There never will be. And if there is a next one coming up, then we're all going to enjoy this person for another 15, 20 years. So
supposedly it was Patrick Mahomes.
Not gonna happen.
The future GOAT, yeah. But since he lost to the GOAT, he's got a ways to go.
But he will. I guarantee you he'll win 2 or 3 more easy. Mahomes.
How long will it be till there is a woman NFL head coach?
Not that far away, surprisingly.
I'm saying head coach, not assistant coach.
Not that far away, surprisingly.
Okay.
It's going to be one of the West Coast teams, one of the more open-minded teams.
That is true.
And they will probably take this.
So when you say not that far away, what are you saying?
2 or 3 seasons max.
2 or 3 seasons?
Yeah, because that's just the way the NFL's going now.
Wow. So, I would think that they wouldn't do that well, and in no way am I being sexist.
Too late. I think they do fine, just like the other, head coaches who just started.
No, I just think
there's always learning curve.
No, the reason I say that is not because of their talent or their play calling. I just think that to start off, those jobs given to women are going to be given to women to teams that are bad.
So which West Coast team is bad? Because I said West Coast. So there's the Seahawks, which is good. Your Niners, who are good. The Cards, who are good. The Rams, who still have a good defense.
Yeah, I know.
The Chargers are good.
I know. I'm trying to figure out which one of those.
Why'd you open your mouth? Come on, man. Who else is there on the West Coast?
I just don't see there being a super team and then them giving the keys over.
You never know.
Because it would almost be too much pressure.
Why? Because of society?
Yeah, because of society. I mean, you don't have to look too far away than the black coach. I mean, when they get hired, they're definitely under more scrutiny than the white coaches. So
is that what you think happened to, what's his name, for the Chargers? Anthony Lynn? You think that's what happened to him?
No.
Honest question?
No, he was just a terrible coach who... his time management was
abysmal.
Yeah, I forget which team he's the coordinator for, but I feel bad for that quarterback because he's sort of run heavy and so
they were trying to rely on running backs and it doesn't work. You need a quarterback now.
Yeah. Oh, this leads me to my next question. Why do you think the running back is no longer loved in the NFL?
Because with a dual threat quarterback, you don't really need a running back because if you have a dual threat, you can run and throw. And also, Christian McCaffrey is literally the future of running backs. They're not going to run that much. They're going to be thrown to.
Okay.
Just like, how did I forget his name from the Saints? He kept getting...
Oh, Alvin Kamara?
Alvin Kamara got a lot of throws from Breeze.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
See? So Alvin Kamara, McCaffrey are headed the curve. The next running backs really need to catch, and that's why Najee Harris saying, my scouting report said I couldn't catch well wasn't true because he can catch.
Yeah,
It's just he wasn't targeted as much because Alabama's run first.
Right.
So Najee Harris can do it. So if the Bills get Najee Harris, I'm saying Super Bowl. I'm serious. Super
No,
Bowl.
I
I'm
love
saying it
I
right
love
now.
that you're saying that because
Right
that
now.
leads me into the second part of the question. Is in fact what I have to say is that if the Bills had a running back last year, I think they go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think they're one running back away because earlier you said they need a dual threat quarterback. And I was like, well, Josh Allen's a dual threat quarterback, but he doesn't have a running back. So they're one piece away from being involved in these big games to go to the Super Bowl. I also think that if the Chiefs had a running back last year, I forget who his name was. I want to say it's Damian Williams, but he opted out. And I think they never really recovered from that. They did choose Clyde Edward-Helaire. But, he's a rookie and had some injury issues, and I think that was all overlooked on the Chiefs. It's something that I noticed, and I think that's why they had a tumultuous season of a lot of barely wins instead of crushing people like what they've done before in the past.
Yeah, definitely. I think the rookie, though, is really good. I saw him do some of his runs in the beginning of the season.
Who's
Holy
that?
Smokes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh, the rich get richer, as they say. And if he doesn't, if he's no longer injury prone as much, the future's bright for him.
Yeah, for some reason,
Chiefs.
I was listening to some reports and they were saying that maybe the Chiefs had messed up by picking him in the first round, but that's just an opinion.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, and
think it's a good
you don't have to look far, but go to my Niners, and you saw what they were doing with the running backs 2 years ago when Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., and some of the other running backs.
Say the fullback's name, please, for camera. Come on, say it.
Kyle.
If he listens in, I'm very sorry for butchering your last name, sir.
Yeah.
You're a really good fullback, by the way.
He is.
Probably
You know
the
what?
best,
They
honestly.
really need to use him more. I mean, I think they use him like on 30% of the plays, but they're paying him really well. I make him the new Tom Rathman. Like I mentioned earlier, I mean, I know a lot of you millennials don't know who he is, but look him up on YouTube. I mean, Tom Rathman will go down as one of the best. If there's a fullback that's going into the Hall of Fame, it's definitely Tom Rathman.
Okay.
I don't even know if they take.
You heard it here
fullback.
first, guys.
Yes.
Sports truth.
The last thing I'm going to talk about are favorite sports movies. I'll start with you, and then I'll go to my top 5.
Okay.
Is there some sports movies that come to mind?
Favorite sports movies?
Yeah.
Oh, Remember the Titans. I mean, Sonny. Come on. We all
Okay.
know that Trevor Lawrence looks like Sonny. So that's fine.
It's
Everyone
true.
says it.
That's
Yeah, so
true.
that's good, right? So
If
the Titans,
not, listeners, look it up. It's so
Yeah.
true.
it's the Jaguars instead of the Titans this time.
Right,
It's the
right.
same. It's still AFC South though, so we're good, right?
Yeah.
Right. Remember the Jags, guys.
Remember the
With Sonny
Jags. Yeah,
as a
you know what?
quarterback.
This year, remember the Jags. I was reading some power rankings that had them pretty high up there, and I think they're going to do some damage. I don't quite think they're there to, have a winning record or get into the playoffs, but you know what?
2-minute warning.
Okay. I'm going to go with my favorite 5 sports movies. This one I saw recently. It's called The Way Back with Ben Affleck. He used to be the star player at his high school. Then he fell upon hard times and became an alcoholic and got a divorce and all the bad things that could happen to you in life. But I really like the attention to detail played with using basketball terms. And a lot of times they just butcher sports movies and I think, geez, that's not even the way you play, or they don't even know what the heck they're talking about.
Right.
Another one, a comedy one, is Waterboy with Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
That's
yeah.
a classic.
That
I
one's funny.
mean, I've seen that so many times. Water sucks. Gatorade is better. And the fact that you had Winkler, who's the coach, who used to be the Fonzie for all you millennials out there. But yeah, I love that one. Another sort of comedy with some edge into it is The Bad News Bears. Not the most recent that came out. That's a remake. I don't really care for remakes. Every once in a while they nail it. It's with Walter Matthau, and he is drinking, he is smoking, he is cussing.
Oh, jeez.
If you've never watched it, you need to watch it. It's a classic, The Bad News Bears. Another one is Major League Baseball with Charlie Sheen and Tom Berenger. Just a great comedy, a lot of heart. Love that movie. And then probably one of my favorite movies, period, is Raging Bull with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Martin Scorsese is the director of this. I love it. It's in black and white. The fighting scenes are amazing. If you've never had a chance to check it out, I would highly recommend it.
And for honorable mentions,
Oh, okay.
The Sandlot.
Oh yes, that's a good one. That's
How can you forget The
that is a
Sandlot, man?
Yeah, I've
That's a
seen
sin.
that. I've seen that tons of
I'm sorry,
times.
Great Bambino.
No, you're right. That I've seen it
Yeah.
quite a few times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right, listeners, hope you enjoyed our podcast today. Next week, we will look at the first round draft picks, who scored, who made their team better, and who bombed, and who's going to be a perpetual loser.